Hello, I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. You know, last episode made me realize that fan theories are a really big part of the internet. Not just in video games, but in every other medium. And many fan theories are connected to Disney. So today we're introducing a new segment to the show we like to call Debunking Disney. Exactly. And to coincide with the winter season, we're going to be taking a look at a fan theory of Frozen. What, no booze? Awesome! So yeah, Frozen. This theory tries to explain the reason why the King and Queen of Arendelle left on their 2-week excursion and what ultimately happened to them, while also connecting Frozen to other Disney films. Now, this theory is sort of divided into 3 parts, so we're going to take it piece by piece. The first part says that the trip the King and Queen went on was to the Kingdom of Corona to attend the wedding of none other than Flynn and Rapunzel. And yeah, I buy it. Seeing as how in Frozen we see Flynn and Rapunzel arriving for Elsa's coronation. If they were invited to such an important royal event in Arendelle, I see no reason why the King and Queen wouldn't be invited to the wedding of the Princess of Corona. What? Oh yeah. A certain puzzle piece known as Once Upon a Time. The first half of the popular fairy tale show's 4th season pretty much served as a crossover between the show and Frozen. According to the show, the reason why the King and Queen left was to seek out Rumpelstiltskin, hoping that he'd have a way to strip Elsa of her ice powers. Maybe. Here's the thing. When it comes to the fairy tale characters of Once Upon a Time, they tend to draw inspiration from Disney. However, they're usually as faithful to the Disney version as Disney itself is to the original stories. I mean, hell, in this show, Rumpelstiltskin doubles as the Beast, Tick-Tock Croc, and the son of Peter Pan, who's an evil bastard. Yeah, this show is weird. But on the other hand, the Frozen characters were about as close to the movie as humanly possible. So whether or not the Tangled part of the theory could be true is based on whether or not you consider Once Upon a Time to be part of the Frozen timeline. Personally, I do, just because I like the fact that the show explains that Elsa's ice powers are hereditary. Yes it is! Even in Disney, children aren't just born with ice powers, there has to be a reason! Okay, the second part of the theory talks about what happened to the ship. That it would become the shipwreck that Ariel and Flounder explore in the beginning of The Little Mermaid. And I buy this one as well. Let's look at this geographically, and assuming that the first part of the theory is true. Arendelle is a Norwegian kingdom. Corona is said to be a German kingdom. The undersea kingdom of Atlantica is supposedly in the seas somewhere off the coast of Denmark, as the author of the original story, Hans Christian Andersen, lived there. So it's easy to believe that the ship went down somewhere around here. Well, the third part of the fan theory is where this all falls apart, as it talks about what happened to the King and Queen after the ship went down. Well, not according to the fan theory. Apparently, they made it to a lifeboat with their newborn son, and they rode to the shores of Africa and started living in the jungle, where they built a treehouse out of the remains of the ship and got eaten by a leopard. Yep. The short version, Tarzan is Elsa and Anna's long-lost brother. Where do I even begin with how wrong this is? Well, let's start with the ship itself. As I said before, Arendelle is a Norwegian country. The ship in Tarzan bears a British flag. Also, the ship in Tarzan caught fire, whereas the ship in Frozen was taken under by a giant wave. Next, let's look at the parents. Do these two look anything like these two? The King of Arendelle wishes he could have a mustache that awesome. Second, if the Queen had a baby son, why isn't she holding him here? And for those of you who argue that Tarzan was born on the trip, does that look like a woman who's 9 months pregnant to you? And even if she was, why would you put her on a boat? And the most glaring hole of all, the time periods. Tarzan takes place in the range of the late 19th, early 20th century, whereas Frozen takes place roughly around the 15th century. There's at least a few hundred years difference between the two. And because I know a lot of people are going to bring it up, I am fully aware of what Chris Buck said on the subject. For those who don't know, Chris Buck is a director at Walt Disney Animation who directed both Tarzan and Frozen. In an AMA session, he claimed that yes, Tarzan is Elsa and Anna's brother. well, he didn't say that exactly, he pretty much just regurgitated this part of the fan theory. For me personally, though, I think he was just joking. And besides, not every word that comes out of the director's mouth is law. So, in summary, the king and queen of Arendelle visiting the kingdom of Corona for Flynn and Rapunzel's wedding? Totally possible. The fact that the shipwreck from the beginning of The Little Mermaid was from Arendelle? Highly likely. The fact that Tarzan is not only the king of the jungle, but the prince of Arendelle? Bullshit. But we also want to hear from you guys. Do you have any evidence that might prove or disprove any part of the theory? Leave them in the comments section. I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you.